Why do men still hold vast majority of leadership positions in government and industry? That's what Sheryl Sandberg asked. And of course, there were women all around the world who perhaps nodded in agreement. Where are women in our boardrooms is a question that's been asked repeatedly over and over again. So Anima, what's your experience really been like when we talk about this? The numbers, of course, being dismal. We'll get into those in just a bit. But sort of, have you ever felt that, you know, here's my gender coming in the way?
I met a lot of those people as well who said, you know, well, why don't you sell soap? Like, really, I was starting a BPO. They said, why don't you sell soap, like handmade soap? So I said, well, more power to me with that, because, you know, I get strength from proving you wrong now. That I'll do this well.
It must be really a sense of accomplishment that all of you
absolutely,
then have,
right?
after being told stuff like
so
this.
People tell you stuff, but you have to ignore and keep walking.
Yeah.
That is the life of an entrepreneur.
Anisha, you know, as someone who's seen a success, no matter how you define it, be it in terms of funding that Maidala's got, be it in terms of the buzz around it, how would you say that being a woman has sort of added more challenges, if it has, for you along the way?
You know, I was telling them a story before this. So I actually started raising about 6 years ago, right? So, and I was very pregnant. I was 8 months pregnant. So I was really,
you really
out of
chose your time.
And the funniest thing is, I met somebody who I will not name, just, but who said, you know, you can't do this. And I said, why? He said, you don't know what it's like to have a kid. And I was like, do you? Because, you know, clearly this is a man. And he was like, well, my wife does, and I can tell you, you can't do this. So it was very much like, you can't do this. I'm not even asking you, can you do this? You can't do this. I will tell you, you can't do this.
I would not look at it completely from only entrepreneurs. I think the one thing I'm challenged all the time is that on my investor table, there are not enough women. And I think that evolution of women entrepreneurs building companies, exiting, and then going into angel investing is still to happen.
Right.
And I think that is something that sort of keeps me thinking that how do I create more gender parity on the investor table, because then I think we have a much better mix of diligence and mentoring that we can give to men or women entrepreneurs. Overall, if I look at a lot of women, they don't have that financial independence. It's a very patriarchal society. So for them, raising money, raising debt is hugely difficult. They don't have collaterals. They may have collaterals in their name, but they don't have the independence to go and mortgage that collateral.